So yesterday, do you have any questions, any doubts on that? See, normally uh, Microsoft backend architecture for the Azure Service Recovery Vault is like this. Okay, so we just deployed Azure backup service, just called it as a recovery service vault, and where we are going to deploy and configure here. Okay, so how we are going to fetch the data. Okay, so by using of the SQL plugins and the controller. Okay, so if you guys just remember or not, once after the deployment, when you are configuring of the backups, okay, so the backup plugins, which is going to happening with that specific backup account, which is having a sysadmin credential. Okay, so then only the discovery part it is going to happen with respect to VM as well as the database server. And one more thing I want to highlight yesterday part. Okay, only we just focused on the database backup and the configuration and the restoration part we did. Okay, but VM team is going to do completely VM level backup as well. That option also we have. Okay, so so if it is considering as and if you want to take the VM level backup or any file level backup also, it is going to work. But our agenda, apart from that, blob storage container as well as the file share. So this is the one of the backup configuration. It is going to help us. Okay, so even you can able to take the on-premises backup as well. Okay, let's say if you are on-premises workloads with you and you want to implement a backup solution in the cloud, okay, this is the best suit for and at any point of time, so that you have some multiple availability features as well. Okay, so that's what I just want to update here. So apart from that, see how I'm extended this design architecture is basically, so in a real time it is just for giving the high level solution part. So if you go for in details related stuff, basically this is what we are going to implement. And when we are deploying and the configuration, we saw multiple errors also. Okay, so while deploying of this vault and while deploying of the VM, so with respect to the firewalls, inbound port, outbound port, so which is going to play very important role. Okay, so normal high level architecture is this, and when you are going to implement it in a real time, this is what the design it is going to implement. It is a plain, okay, maybe some complication. Client may ask you the different servers, Linux servers, Windows servers, Ubuntu server, that also you can able to do it. Okay, just try it your end, or else let me know, or if you are facing any issue, we can solve that one. Okay, so this is all about yesterday one. We just last minute disconnected, so that's what I'm just giving the brief on this one. Okay, so and one more thing, today we just start that pass model related stuff. Prior to that, if anyone have any question, so let me know so that I'm happy to discuss with you. Okay, I'm just take it up as a no. Okay, I'm just proceeding to the today agenda part. Okay, so let's proceed today. Okay, so as of now, infrastructure as a service level with respect to SQL basic fundamental related stuff, as well as SQL deployment, SQL Server installation, taking up the backup of multiple services, PaaS services and blob storage container, Azure recovery service vault. We did okay, but only thing we haven't covered in a high availability concept, that there is some dedicated concept is there that I'm going to cover later on. Okay, in this infrastructure as service we covered a lot more things, and I'm just moving towards the platform as a service. Okay, so in the platform as a service, okay, so we have uh, see completely underlying hardware component, virtualization, OS, the cloud vendor is going to provide you. So in this one, what we did is basically you deployed a VM. Okay, so then after that you install the SQL server. Okay, you did then a backup solution, and you have configured the backup. A lot more things we did. But in this aspect, you no need to do all these things. Okay, so monitoring and backup, whatever we are seeing, that not required to do in this scope. Okay, why? Because Microsoft is going to taken care of all this stuff. You just need to only storing your data. You just need to only store your data. Okay, what is the data that you are going to focus? Let's say you have a backup file. You just need to restore it. Okay, so the rest of the monitoring, backup, availability, okay, everything is going to taken care by the cloud vendor. So whether it is in AWS, Azure, GCP, and Alibaba, IBM Cloud, Salesforce, whoever the public cloud vendors is going to provide. So these things is all are common. Okay, that's what it is, as similar as, not as similar, it is in 100% similar things only. Okay, so in a platform as service, that is the flexibility. At the same time, the cost comparison also, okay, so it is in a little bit in high, but only the thing, infrastructure maintenance prospect of, you are going to reduce the cost. What I mean, okay, if you take this one, you need in a database guy, right? You need in a backup team. Okay, so you need admin team. But in this aspect, okay, so overall prices is going to down, but the service prospect of comparing to this is going to take much price. Okay, but you are going to overcome all this manpower, maintaining of multiple vendors. Okay, so in this aspect, what we did, whether we go for the Azure recovery vault or third party tool, whatever you want to do, you can do. But here inbuilt backup facilities is there. Okay, the patching activity, the availability activity, so everything is going to taken care. Only you just need to focus on your data. Okay, I mean to say that somewhere the data is there, you just need to keep data into this cloud, and that is the only thing you are going to do. Okay, other than that, nothing we are going to do in the much task over here. Okay, so in a real-time aspect, what I'm trying to say, okay, so once after the migration has done, more, see why, because DBA roles or DBA opportunities, gradually decreasing because of this PaaS model. Okay, if you are moving to this PaaS model, basically what it is going to happen, you don't get an opportunity to work with all these tasks. Okay, so configuring a backup, patching activity, availability activity, failover activity. Okay, so this one time configuration task. Okay, see, daily activity is different. Okay, daily activity, you will monitor, alert monitor, disk sorry, disk cleanup. Okay, and the patching activity, script execution, these are all the daily activity. It will be there. Okay, daily activity, it will be there. But as a database administrator standpoint of, there will be some certain one time activity. See, availability, always unavailability is there. So in your organization, in your project, okay, only one time you are going to do. Daily you are not going to do, right? Daily you cannot do that task, right? Let's say you want to build some cluster environment. Let's say you want to do some availability concept. That only in a single time you are going to do. Now, when you are going to get the opportunity, that existing environment, if you want to, move from a higher version and all, but whereas in the cloud landscape, PaaS model, it is automatically upgrade the highest version. Okay, you no need to do that task. The backup inbuilt is that just you need to enable that backup. Okay, you want to full backup or differential backup and all. Okay, even though you just enabling of the future, it is not a configuring of this one, only the configuration part, deploying of the server, deploying of the SQL server, right? So, and the maintenance activity, let's say you are doing some maintenance activities, quarterly, weekly, based upon that. Okay, if you guys is aware of, we are going to do some DR drill activity. Okay, so typically it will do for DR drill activity quarterly or in every 6 months, every 1 year, based upon the critical application you are going to perform. But here you don't need to do. Okay, it should be there, you just need to test it out to your application and enabling that feature as well. Okay, so OS abrogation. Okay, so OS all it is automatically backend Microsoft, going to taken care. Okay, so let's say you want to do some hardware, scale up. Okay, so you want to do the scale down. Let's say in a business hours, weekend, if you take an e-commerce application and all, there is a lot of fuse potential users is going to access our data and our application. At this moment, what we are going to do? So you just going to need auto scale up and scale down. Okay, so one important thing I want to share with you folks. Okay, so this is client related. Okay, I worked even AWS also. Coming to the, I'm talking only SQL product. The rest of the product, data warehouse, uh, Synapse. Okay, that is Google Cloud is the best one. Okay, but coming to the SQL one, okay, so no one can beat this Azure SQL aspect. Why? Because okay, they are giving high availability. But in Google, we don't have that high availability concepts and all. Okay, and they are charging you to more than what Azure is going to charge you. Okay, but in Azure end, that is big advantage and the high features we have. So that's what everybody SQL aspect they are moving to the data aspect Azure only. Okay, so if you can see a lot of the migration Azure only will get it. There is no GCP and AWS related. Okay, AWS also we have RDS instances, right? But this features is not available. Okay, scaling up, scaling down, disaster recovery solution, backup solution, they don't have that much capability to provide, and cost also very high. Okay, okay. So now what I'm talking about in a platform as a service, you don't need to bother about it, all these tasks. It is predefined in build so that you can go and deploy it. Okay. So just moving towards, independently, this is on-premises SQL Server we are currently working, last 5 years, 10 years, whatever. But last, 15 days, 13 days, whatever we have the recording sessions and all, we will discuss only this infrastructure as service, except high availability. And now we are just moving towards platform as a service. Okay, you just need to familiar this kind of terminologies. Okay, so that you are syncing with the client basically. So in the best example, if you can see this Azure SQL databases, SQL managed instance, single DB, these are the main uh, things we have. Apart from this, we do have um, MySQL, we have pass model services, and you do have Cassandra. So this databases also have. But with respect to SQL, Azure SQL, Azure SQL DBA admin, we are more emphasizing to do the a lot of the task into the Azure SQL and managing the single DB. Okay, let's navigate to this. The in the past module again, if you are restructured. Okay, so Microsoft Azure, what they are going to give. Okay, so you have Azure SQL pass option. Okay, so we have a single DB option, elastic pool option, and managed instance option. Okay, what is the single DB, what is elastic pool, what is the managed instance, we will discuss. Okay, so this single DB when we are going to use is basically, okay, but you are started new, brand new startup company. Okay, if you maintain, SQL Server installation, SQL licensing, okay, SQL database administrator. Okay, so to maintain OS licensing and getting the things, it is very headache, very expensive, right? If it is a startup company that you want to use the SQL Server, get it done used by this, Azure SQL. Okay, which is in a straightforward. They will give it everything. Only you just need to go and store it your data only. Okay, they'll handle your servers, they'll handle your backup, they'll handle your patching, they'll handle your availability. So nothing to do. Just go and make it ready for you. Okay, so that's what the best apps for the required resource in the generative at database level. Okay, you only just focus on the data, not for the infrastructure management level. The other thing is elastic pool. This is in a cost effective solution. Let's say you are maintaining one server, and let's say you have a three region. Let me explore this one point to understand this elastic pool. Okay, so you have 24 by 7 business bus. Okay, you have 24 by business, and you have, let's say, just make it in a 90 database in a single instance. Okay, single SQL instance, right? So my point is here, the client requirement is you have 24/7, so that you have to use this, effectively 90 database in a single server, right? So that is what requirement. So let's say if you are going to take, okay, if you are going to take TB1 for one instance, SQL instance one, SQL instance one, it is going to cost 100 USD. Okay, again, DB2, okay, SQL and C, okay, it is going to charge 100 USD. Okay, likewise, we have 90 databases. Okay, that is the one use case. Okay, let's say complete 90 database into the single instance. Okay, boss. So you have to configure like, very big uh, 120 cores. It is not a course, either DTU or V core, we'll call it as. And so if you're taking in a single instance in all the databases, 90 databases, okay, you have to configure in a huge configuration. But the point is here, you are using 24/7. Let's say in India, you have a business operation like, as per India 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. Okay. Here you are using only 30 dBs. Okay. And after 6 p.m. to 3 a.m. EST time zone in US, we are using 30 databases. Okay, again, Singapore region, okay, you have the business, same thing, like 4 a.m. to 12:30 p.m. Again, you are using 30 dBs. Okay, so these 90 databases, whatever we are talking about, okay, you have 124/7 business. But when you are, EST time zone, okay, rest of the databases, 60 databases, okay, complete your 68 databases ideal, but it is going to charge, is it? Okay, let's say you take, this single database in a single instance. This is also, it is going to cost effective manner only, the solution if you are going to give. But what is the best solution in this kind of customers? If you are going to suggest, okay, what is the best solution if you think about the elastic pool is the best solution in my opinion. Okay, that's what Microsoft has introduced, the elastic pool concept. Okay, so it is a pass only, but the configuration management prospect of cloud is going to take out. But how we are going to achieve this entire pattern? Let's go for this option also. You are ideally paying 60 databases cost, and if you are going to do this one also, comparing to this is, 200 times cost is going to happen. Every single server we are going to pay. Okay, but actual that particular period of time, the rest of the time zone databases in the people, it is going to they keep in ideally, there is no, utilization, but you are going to pay 90 databases. Actual usage is 30 databases only. Here also, if you go for the single server in single database, comparing to this also, through 200 times you are going to pay extra cost. But the ultimate solution, okay, this kind of customer, you would have to, give the suggestion for the elastic pool. How it is going to work in elastic pool, basically, I'll tell you. Okay, just try to understand high level. When we are going to deploy the, database deployment, we'll get in much clarity. Okay, just understand how it is going to work, solution aspect. Okay, now what I'm talking here, if you go for this, SQL, okay, Azure SQL boss. Okay, what is the solution? E-pool, elastic pool, right? So elastic pool we are going to use. Okay. So in the elastic pool, Okay, so you can able to do the configuration such a way. Okay, we are using only single instance in a 30 databases. Okay, so what we are going to do is basically uh, we are using 90 databases in single SQL instance. Okay, boss, and we are going to
90 means
enable
90 means 90 minutes.
not 90 databases, boss.
90 people. Okay, okay.
Just I'm taking example, and maybe it is in 100, maybe it is in 200. Okay, I'm just taking 90 database in a single instance. Okay, and we are going to configure the single instance. Okay, with this elastic pool concept. Okay, what it is going to do in the elastic pool concept, let's say, okay, you are time zone, three time zones, you are going to utilize 30 30 30 only, right? Okay, so this elastic pool, okay, you no need to making a scale up and scale down. Okay, initially we will configure it. Okay, so whatever the active time zone is there, okay, let's say you just configured each and every database, okay, in such a manner of, okay, you just make this one 10 DTUs, database transaction unit, we will call it as. Okay, I'll tell you in details. Okay, and during the peak business hours, it may require, okay, it may require 30 DTUs, right? So whatever the 30 database is available, okay, so it is going to accommodate rest of the ideal database units it is going to utilize effectively. Okay, you just stick down the complete configuration, let's say 100 due to use with 500 stories. Okay, it is not going to exceed at any point of time, and also within the instance, whatever the database is actively it is going to use, okay, the required data it is going to accommodate with effective performance. Okay, so that flexibility we have, but just at this moment try to understand this is going to resource governor. Okay, in a SQL server we have a resource governor, right? So you can able to map some sort of memory CPU that particular resource, so that you can able to make effective performance. Okay, here also the ideal time zone, whatever the database configuration is there, database transaction units as well as the storage, you can use the active time zone databases. Okay, so without um, extra configuration not required to configure it. Okay, this flexibility it is have. So the main difference is this is going to give the shared resources model. Okay, it means the whatever the configuration we build in the elastic pool, it is going to distribute among all the database. Okay, but if you go for the individually, it is going to stick the configuration, but off business hours also you're going to pay, but here is it is not the case. Okay, it is going to affect it. That's what it is. Shared resources model optimize great efficiency of the multi-tenant applications. So this is all about pass model. So what about managed instances? Managed instances is nothing but our on-premises on-premises SQL Server, how it is going to work, it is as same as, okay. So the main difference between single database, elastic pool, SQL is, and there is a lot of dependencies, features and ability. See, it's same like this is what we call standard plan, premium plan. Okay, if you are taking your TV connection, okay, Geo or Airtel, they will tell as a no boss, we have 366 plan, 599 plan, 799 plan. So there is a vary of comparing to the all plans, right? So some same like it is maintaining pass model only, but the features perspective, it is going to give some flexibility and all. Okay, so that is only the thing, but we are going to explore it in details, what exactly Microsoft is going to give us. Okay, so if you can see, why managed instance, why we should go, we will explore it. Okay, that one also we are going to do the explore. When we are going to do the on-premises connect with the pass model, we are going to discuss upcoming models next further classes. This also we are going to discuss. We are going to implement this design solution as well. Okay, so let's jump into the demo so that we'll get much clarity on this one. I'm just talking about the high level things only. Okay, but when you go and deploying of things, we'll get more information into the pass modular. Okay, anyone have any questions before going to deployment? First of all.
Yeah, I like the Elastic and what do you say, single database. Like
Mhm.
I could see like most of the time they would be using a single database, correct?
See, most of the time we cannot able to judge. Okay, it is a requirement. Most of the time they'll use for you cannot able to say that actually. Okay, you are working in enterprise customer, there are already existing platforms is there, why they will go for the single database. Okay, so they want to redesign their structure. Let's say they are feel like our server, the database is very cost effective, I want to go for very lesser price. Okay, then it is your cloud landscape, you are going to do rehosting your complete environment, right? On premises you are using all the SQL servers installation, VMs and all, right? But if you choose the SQL server only, okay, what it will happen now? Okay, you are completely restructure is going to design. So for your question, most of the time you cannot able to say that thing, but if your restructure is going to design, yes, that is going to happen. But as per my experience, a lot of customers, what I did is, okay, uh, 90% will take it as a managed instance. Why? Because this is as same as our on-premises, and also will go for infrastructure as service. Okay, why this will go only do this two managed instance and the SQL Server, because of here is there is a flexibility. Why? Because they have an existing licensing is there, OS is there, SQL Server, volume they are having getting 60 to 70 60% of the OS level, and SQL license level 40%. They'll get a lot of discount here. Okay. Anyhow, their database guys is there, so that they are going to maintain and cloud, and they are going to managing. This is the one kind of approach. Okay, no boss, I don't want to take care of all these things, I want to focus on the database. Let's move for this one. The working environment is managed instance and SQL Server IAM is as same as 99% 99. It is same. Okay, only the thing OS, it is not underlying OS, you cannot able to um, uh, that is not in our control. Rest of the thing, it will be there, your control on. Okay, so here see, SQL Server IAM full control of your SQL Server and internal OS. Okay, you can configure your HADR kind of thing. You will have some licensing discount as well. When you go for the Azure SQL, okay, it is in a SQL admin cost of there is no OS level control. Okay, you can maintain less than 1 TB, max 4 TB you can able to maintain. But when you go for the managed instance, it is a fully managed. Okay, these two environment is who's going to maintain? Cloud one only, right? You have a flexibility, high availability design inbuilt, 8 TB, licensing also include. But here is licensing recently it is got included, but futures prospect it is very less. Okay, here it is very heavy. Those features you can able to get. Okay, but in this case, okay, you have administration tasks, management tasks. Okay, for 60% of the tasks you are going to do here. Your